This is Matt's L X Remo Chris. We are the Comic Hall crew, and we are back for another edition, a very special edition with a very special guest. But you got to stay locked in to see who it is. Fellas, how y'all doing tonight?
I'm good.
Doing good.
Good. And we are going to go right into our favorite segment. Like, got my damn glasses off. I can't see shit.
Man, come on, dog.
I'm sitting up here struggling.
Hard, boy. You want me to do it?
That 40 I got it right here. Yeah. That 40 is rough, boy. Al should have warned me. Remo and Al should have warned me.
Let you know, man.
I've been there 9 years, bro.
All right. Let's go ahead. Just in time. Look at Sean is in the building. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man?
All right, here we go.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
But my prices are reasonable. What?
Oh, there they go. There.
All right, let's get down to it. Right out the gate. This week we have right out the gate. Ironheart number one, second print, low print. 12 grand. Great
that's
pounds.
Yeah, that's pounds.
Yeah, but it's 16,000 American.
Nope.
Super note.
Any takers on this?
Come on, man.
Even the guest is in the back looking crazy.
See what the thing is, though? Like, and the crazy part about that is like,
hey, I mean, it's absolutely insanity, man, with some of these books, man. I mean, look at this. When I saw this, I said I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I was like, seriously?
I mean, at least it's free shipping.
It better be 16 grand.
Free internet shipping.
I love this book. I want the book, but I'm not gonna pay it.
Look, hey man, it's right there. Buy it. It's right there.
Yeah, it's 16 grand. It's a drop in the bucket.
No.
Hey, just listen. Yeah. I hear a little echo on somebody's end, so y'all know.
Remo, is that you? Is that you over there, Remo?
I don't think so. Let me check. Hold on a second.
I don't hear it now.
That's Remo. That Remo. Shut your mouth. You were getting chilling in trouble, man. But that's crazy, man.
How about now?
Yeah, you good.
He done rolled the belt out now, so they got quiet.
Yeah, it's laying on his lap.
I'm going to call defects over there on Remo.
I just had to flash it. But I mean, I know this book. I mean, personally, because I've been hunting this book for about a year and a half, and they got the price right, but it's about 2,000% too high. It's about $120 book at best. Even in a 9.8, it may be like 200.
Well, you sound like you work for Key Collector.
Well, I want that book, and I know the price because I shop for it.
Yeah, I agree, man.
It wasn't that much a year ago. It wasn't that much 5 months ago. It's just been taken off since the news, and they're going crazy. And there's better. I mean, I understand it's got a short print one, but it's not worth 16 grand.
Not even close.
And if it is, I'm gonna go buy all the ones that I know are. If they go for 16 grand, then I'm gonna go buy all the ones I see that are
do the same thing.
Yeah, and go sell them for 16 grand.
I done told y'all, man. If I ain't told you once, I'm tell y'all again. But the speculation game gonna be the death of comic books, boy.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean that's absurd. All right, let's move on to our next one. We have 2012 Dr. Doom art sketch card.
Who did that first? I just want to know. It don't matter, but I want to know who did it.
Matters to me.
Hey,
is this like a random dude on the streets?
Hey man, it's like that cat. Y'all see? Hey, Remo, you watching Wu-Tang, man? That cat that's on the boat. And
like I draw your stuff for you.
Yeah.
Look at this man.
Okay. I just want to make sure it's not like Stegman or somebody like this, like
He look like
supposed
a
to be
cat.
like never drew him before. First time on McFarlane, but $8,000. I mean,
This is clearly
Hey, man.
from the sketch gallery of Stevie Wonder.
What's the what was the main villain from Silverhawks?
Monster.
One star.
Monster. Like,
with a hood on, right? A green hood.
yeah.
That's Monstar cosplaying as Dr. Doom.
Guess they meant MF Doom.
Hey, that's Claw. That's Claw from.
No, don't even
yeah,
disrespect
They
MF.
meant MF Doom.
No, don't disrespect them like that.
Not middle fingers to Terry. No.
Yeah, no, I'm not paying that.
Fine than that.
Yeah, I'm not paying $8,000 for that.
Hey,
Yeah,
who
random
drew it?
artist.
Does it say
Right,
who
like,
drew it?
Who's the artist?
It doesn't even
That's what I'm
say.
saying. I just want to know who that is. If that's Joe Blow from the flea market, it just does some good
Here
parts.
we go.
Richard
Richard
McWillan.
Okay,
No, he just said this is a
I'm familiar. With
hand drawn, one of a kind Marvel
What do you
art.
mean hand drawn?
Well,
it. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind having it, but I'm not.
No. What does he mean hand drawn? What is he gonna draw with?
Oh, as in not done digitally.
Yeah, like not printed out, just like as.
He
My
didn't do it.
thing,
He
it
didn't do it in
doesn't even say- it
Photoshop.
doesn't-
He did it.
But even when it's digital, you still do it with your hand.
But
This,
they separate the two though. Still, for some reason.
Just
hey
saying.
man,
Yeah, I know.
you
like
the thing here, they don't even
People's
have the
Walker.
artist's name on it.
Yeah.
They could have got this from some. Oh, here it is right here, Benford. I guess that's who it is. I guess that's who it is. I
Never
mean,
heard of
Why is
him.
Buckle so big?
Look like a championship belt.
Boy, don't it?
I was just-
he's undisputed champion.
Like
elect.
he
when
just-
Wayfield-
he just
World
left.
Intercontinental Champion.
He's Intercontinental champion.
He just left Planet Fitness when he modeled
that's
for
the-
that.
exactly.
picture. That's what.
Right.
It's that Remo belt.
Talking about let me go put 6 plates on there, man.
Yeah, he about
Both sides, man. Come on.
Throw that 315 on there. 315. They get it.
Nope. All right.
8,000. That's just
Yeah. Oh.
American dollars.
Yeah, man. You know?
They won't.
Hey, I wish y'all could just see the faces and then see his face in the back chat. I mean, good God. He's hey, I'll tell you, man, it's absolutely ridiculous, man. These prices, man. $1,000 for a book that this aired on last week.
I'm surprised Chris didn't find those in that book in that 50 Cent bin he was going through.
Man, I wasn't looking at Fantastic Four stuff, but I did come across a couple of Ultimate Avengers.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
$1,000.
It's what you say, Matt. Ask a 9, ask a 10, ask a 11, all the way to infinity.
Yeah, this is scandalous.
Ridiculous, man.
Oh, y'all.
Is that echo from your mic?
No, that's not me.
Is it?
Who has YouTube up?
And not
Somebody
muted.
has YouTube up.
You
Yeah,
echo,
I don't
not X.
YouTube.
Echo demon.
It's Matt.
No, it's not.
You the only one not echo.
I don't have YouTube up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm echoing too.
Not anymore.
No.
Am I echoing?
Not anymore. Somebody playing games. That's what it is.
Play your games on coming home.
Matt already talking about how his eyesight gone without his glasses. He didn't know he had it up.
Man,
Hey, my eyesight going, but I can see this damn $1,000 right here though. Look, I ain't saying.
and I mean, right now that might be like a steal right now, considering what
No,
the game
what?
is.
Remote. This book is worth all of $75.
I know that. I know that. But this ain't for us. You know what I mean? Like that's for
It's for some poor sucker that's gonna
Yeah.
get them to buy it.
somebody that watched
Hold on,
What If
hold
it
on.
was like, and they were
Uh-uh.
like, "Oh,
Nope.
I need to go and buy one of them books."
Do y'all see the 750 right above it?
That
Yeah.
ain't no. I mean,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Take a zero off of that. The zero needs to come off of it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like we know that, but somebody gonna look at, oh, he's selling it for $1,000. This $750 is a steal. You know what I mean? Like, This look at this $41 raw, dog. And only how much does it cost to get pressed and clean and then you get to go and get it graded? How much is that? Probably like a total of like maybe like $50.
Yeah, I'll say depending on where you go, about 50. Yeah.
Right? So
it's $35 to slab a book.
Yeah,
well,
so
actually more
send
than
it
that,
off. If that's a 9.8, then you're gonna go and if you get it, sent through pretty quick, then you're gonna go and sell it for $1,000 too.
Ain't no such thing as pretty quick anymore.
Now you can get they got the little fast pass thing. It costs a lot more than $50, but there's people that are submitting books and getting back in a couple of days. But you got to pay for it. You got to pay. But
that's why they asking so much then, because they trying to get their money back.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so if that's a 9.8 candidate, the one that was $41, and these is going for $1,000, and that's just if that's the game you want to play, you go and buy that one for 41, get it pressed up, and
go buy it and get that money back.
That's what
go put it in the market to go get if that's the price they're asking.
I'm gonna put it on the payment plan with Larry Crocker.
One was $750 and one was $1,000. You undercut all of them, man. Give me $350. I only paid $100 for it, but give me $350.
I'm gonna go hunt down a copy in the 50-cent bin.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure you'll find that, man. Hell,
you'll find a stack.
Yeah, you wait about another month or two, man. And
that's what I'm saying.
Like, your cons, you'll find this in the
and after that, these books are gonna be $50. Like they're gonna be $28 with $50 shipping after about 2 more months.
Yep. All right.
First,
this is one. Al, I saw this one, man. I was.
See, I already know why, because it's she's supposed to be rumored to be in the new Captain Marvel movie. It's stupid.
Now, but did they not? Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they not fight in Miss Marvel? Didn't they cross paths?
When Rogue was a villain, she beat the brake shoes off.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why
right here, ain't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I asked that question.
Yeah,
what it is, it was during the time. It was after a storyline called "The Siege Perilous," and what happened was, Carol Danvers' psyche, Rogue absorbed so much of Carol Danvers that she absorbed part of her psyche, and she started having internal battles with her in regards to the Ms. Marvel, because a lot of Rogue's powers, that like her flight, that came from Ms. Marvel. She didn't have that flight because of her mutant ability. So that was part of the storyline where she was actually going through some internal turmoil. But still, though, that book ain't worth no $300, even at a 9.8.
I mean, I can see if Jim.
What's the safe price for that? What do you think? How much?
It ain't really, honestly, it's not even it's not even a key. That's what I'm saying. There is no significance to this book aside from what I just explained. That's it.
Right.
So
like I said,
I don't know why they selling a 9.8 for $295, because raw, that book $15, $20, $25 high grade. That's my opinion. Somebody else may beg to differ.
Hey,
I can see if Jim Lee, if that was a blank cover and he drew that and colored it and inked it and all that right in front of you,
and
I can see it then.
That I understand, but that can't. I got that book in the box over here in my other room, so no.
I put in the private chat another link to add to this. When you're done with your list, there's another book I want to talk about that we saw today.
All right, well, you hold tight, Sean. I'm gonna tell you what, we're gonna go right to it. Hold on, I got it right here. How many times you seen that book for $10-15, Sean?
I'll tell you this. I went to my comic shop today. They had the 10th anniversary celebration. It was early in the week, but they did it on Saturday. They had discounts and stuff.
Yeah.
They had that book on the wall for $40. Now my brother snatched that book up.
Today?
Today. He snatched it up. You get the discount on top of it.
Yeah.
And then I went and looked on eBay and I see this shit. And I'm like, this is a raw copy, and you selling it for that much. And I've seen cheaper copies, even a slab.
Look at that spine. Look at the spine. Look at the spine. That spine looked like Art Anderson and got a hold of it, man.
Right. They done been around the block.
I mean, that looked like they took the edge of that book and cleaned some tiled bathroom.
Right.
Grout.
Like,
Straight up use some Mr. Clean in that book and cleaned the grout from between the tiles. And
Somebody
look at
rolled it up and hit somebody.
Look at this. Look at this right. Look at the corner. Look at that.
look at his leg. You see the mark on the Punisher's leg?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I'm telling y'all, man, this is.
I was like, bro.
And that book isn't hard to find. I mean, you can find that book.
That's what he's saying.
2 or 3 times
that's
for
what
like
he's
10,
saying.
$15, man. That's an easy book to find, man. It's nothing common.
I mean, it ain't gonna be everywhere, but you can find it.
Look at that corner.
Yeah, that's a chewed up one, man.
That's depressing.
That shit is dirty as fuck, man.
And the fact that he's selling it for that price is fucking retarded, man.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that ding right there. Look at that.
That should be no more than at least $20-$25. If because the cover, because people selling it high because it's the first time these two appeared together, and that cover is awesome. Like,
Yeah,
no doubt about it. That cover is awesome, but there ain't no $370.
That's a $17 copy.
Hey, they're right here looking at this kind of crap, man. This body's as depressing as watching Rosewood. Straight up, man. This is ridiculous, bro.
that made no sense.
I said it. Rosewood. Look at off-white.
Ooh.
And you want 300
White
Off beige. Off beige.
Beige, and it's got water damage in the first corner, the other corner. So.
Y'all don't notice how he got it on that shag rug too.
Yeah, right.
Makes it look brighter than it is.
It's spilling on that dirty ass rug.
Right.
That's the normal spot for it.
Oh,
That's what he had to clean the floor with.
He just roomed with the vac. He just roomed with the carpet with that Roomba, little Ryan vacuum and stuff.
He must have shot his eye.
Hell no.
No, bro.
Come on, bro.
No, bro.
Bro, I got 2 copies of that, man.
Just got the fan letter.
Hey, first fan letter. Look at this.
No.
How do you know it's the first fan letter? Like, what?
No.
Did it?
Wait, is that like? Wait. Oh, it's multiple books. Oh, okay.
I don't get Get out of here, man. Look at that.
I've seen these days.
Look at that right there.
1,000 books.
That
dollar
ain't,
bins, man.
that ain't no New Mutants 98. What?
There's a New Mutants 98 and some original art, and
no, it still ain't worth no $15,000, dog.
no.
And they are ungraded, even at that.
Yeah. That's probably like a $200-$300 book, $300-$400.
Man, this is probably about a 6.
I know where I can go get a slabbed copy of that book right now for like $500.
Yeah. And then what about the artwork? Who is that? Is that real? Is that original Liefeld art or?
No, but it's Ian Churchill.
Ian Churchill.
Oh, okay.
Ian Churchill.
So I told y'all this
penciler inker from Britain. I didn't know who he was.
That's a nice looking copy of it right there.
Remo, this book is the book.
I know, but I wouldn't pay that price at all. But I wouldn't mind.
I want to say it for our guest in the back chat because I'm sure he eating this up. Hey man, this book is the book that when you were a kid and you was in the lunchroom and you wanted to impress your homeboys, you pull this book out. I got Lethal Protector #1 and I got New Mutants 98 first day. And if you ain't got New Mutants 98, you got New Mutants 87. That's what Cable is on the cover.
I like to say New Mutants 98 first appearance of Gideon and some other fool.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I was just saying, like, people were more excited about Gideon.
I was. I know.
In this book than Deadpool was.
He had that cold ass pimp coat. I was on it, man.
I mean, he was the focal point of the book because he was an external. He was like he was supposed to be that dude, but never mind.
He went out, man.
He got shitted on.
Yeah.
Hard.
A lot of cool villains back then got shitted on.
He wasn't shit, man.
And they scratched the whole external storyline because it's Deadpool.
But that coat was off the hook though.
Bad idea. What?
So the thing I heard okay, but hold on. The button is supposed to have some value as far as like it might be redeemable for Bitcoin. So that That's probably why.
We've been doing this show for 5 years. That's the craziest shit I've ever heard.
I know. I heard that. I heard that that's what they're doing because they have a promotion where you can trade them in if you have all three, and you get something for it. It's more than there's something to it though with those buttons. So I'm not sure about. I mean, I would. I mean, I don't know if it was worth Bitcoin. I mean, I might consider that.
Does that button have the comedian's blood on it?
That's the button.
The only way I paid
the
$2,000.
That's what I'm talking about. The comedian's blood is on the Watchman pen. Bro.
Look here, man.
I don't want nobody's blood.
No, I'm just saying that's the only thing that's significant to me.
I don't want to own none of that shit.
Hey, they say bad idea and it's right.
It sure is a bad idea.
Exactly.
What does the description say? Oh, you don't have that on.
Bad idea.
Yeah, bad idea to buy this. Yeah.
Do not buy this.
100% goes to the tunnel to the towers. First responders.
Oh no, he trying to get over. Yeah,
There ain't no Bitcoin in that.
Yeah, no, he is trying to get over.
Got to get over.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was our favorite segment. That was "You Must Be Out of Your Damn Mind." That kiss, oh yeah, yeah.
I don't want anybody's blood in my comic book.
Yeah. All right, next segment. All right, our top 10 brought to you by Cover Price. Matrix comic book preview.
Off a trailer.
First off, so you're telling me that if the Matrix has been around since we all were coming up, 1990 what? 98? 99. Now all of a sudden this book is worth. Let me tell you, this book was in Piggly Wiggly bags across America.
This is ridiculous.
I don't even remember this book, to be honest.
This book is one of those books that you would go to the gas station and you pack annihilators and some crybabies, and then hey man, you want giving these away.
They just put it in the bag.
Yeah, so it was a promo for the movie, and then it got pulled because they deemed it too violent. So they didn't give these out. They thought they would give it out as a comic book, but then they realized that it was a little more violent, so they pulled them.
Remember, I want you to
Find
understand.
them at shops and stuff, but they didn't get to the public like they were supposed to.
Remo in 1999. They're coming off the back end of some of the most violent comic books known to man in the 90s. You gonna tell me?
Well, I mean,
too violent.
I don't. Even when I went and saw it, I don't think anybody knew what to expect, and there was kids at that thing. And if they would have given these away at the counter for the parents would have took them for the kids, and I think that's what they were looking at.
Didn't Blade come out that same year? Didn't Blade come out that same year?
No. Blade was before this.
Yeah, Blade was
98.
Yeah,
98. Okay.
Maybe a year or two before.
I just
Blade was more violent than
Matrix.
The Matrix.
Cool.
But I'm not giving you $160 for this.
I'm not giving you.
I ain't giving you a dime for that. That is not on my radar.
That's some ex movie theater employee who had 2 cases sitting in his house since the movie came out.
For real.
And now he's just like, now's my time.
Might be the owner of Amstar trying to recoup.
He looking like your boy. Mr. Smithers off of the Simpsons.
And that's a graded one too.
Yeah, the cheapest copy I see on eBay is $49.99.
Yeah, it's like a $50 book.
I'm sure that'd be.
But it's been that for a while, man. It's always been a 30, about 25.
I have a feeling this will be on our "You Must Be Out of Your Damn Mind" list in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
If not next year, in the near future.
When the movie come out.
Movie's coming out soon.
So we have a 9.8 graded copy of it.
I already see one on eBay.
Spider-Man. This is I think that's the variant, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's the variant. That is a 183, which I find that kind of crazy that this book, I mean, that's kind of insane.
Right.
The Mighty Thor, 134. $1,500 graded. Top weekly sale.
For what?
What is so great about this book?
It's got to be a key.
Yeah,
Yeah, most of those Thor keys. First appearance of High Evolutionary.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. I figured that one.
I ain't gonna lie. I like to have that book, but I don't want to pay no $1,500 for
Right.
it because the
They
High
said the
Evolutionary is dope.
6.5 was $350. I'll take the 6.5.
Yeah, that's 350 for that graded 6.5. Yeah, I can do that. That's actually reasonable.
I mean, we know you can do it.
Right.
Just
Jack
saying.
Ain't no question.
No question.
All right. Next
You
up,
probably already got a slab.
I
No.
wish.
I got this slab though. Top weekly sale $9.95. Amazing Spider-Man 361. This was a book that everybody could have got at one point for less than $20.
I have brought all 3 issues, 61, 62, and 63, for like $60-something. And then a couple years later, I donated them to the Hero Initiative, for a good cause. Because, I'm not a big Carnage fan. Like, I thought he was okay, but I didn't really, it was just a whimsical buy because I saw it for so cheap. So I bid it on and I won. So I was like, shit, I got it for like $60-something. So 3 issues and a bonus annual with Carnage on it. So I donated it to the Hero Initiative and I kept the annual. But it was just something that I brought just to buy it.
My thing with the whole Carnage deal was I just felt like it ran too damn long.
That Maximum Carnage was way too long.
Yeah, that thing was just like drag way out. And it was over all of the Spider-Mans, what made it even worse because you had to try to get most of the all of them to try to stay on top of it. So
right,
it was crossovers in different books.
Yep. Sandman 25. This is a first appearance. I think the first appearance of it's that investigation deal. Those kids. I can't think of the name of it. Hold on. It's
the twins.
Yeah,
the dead boys. The
dead boys,
detectives decided. So
this was in dollar bins.
Yeah, the dead boy detectives.
Yeah.
I saw an issue of that today.
Oh, just for to say, I bet you saw this in the dollar bin.
I did. I saw an issue, not that one, but I saw an issue of Dead Boy Detectives though.
Better go back and get it. Hurry up.
Flip it real quick.
Pirate Queen. I have not seen this book anywhere. I'm sure if our local LCS had it, it's in the back, secured, ready to go out for CGC.
It's at that Joker house. That's where it's at.
I seen it last night. I just didn't want to pay $9 for it.
Woof.
I read it was a good read though.
Yeah, it's good. I heard it was good.
Star Slayer. It's a first appearance in that. I'm trying to remember who it is. It's
Rocketeer.
Rocketeer, yeah, Rocketeer. And this has probably been in butt bins, but you probably look right past it because it's Star Slayer. I'm pretty sure that's probably still in dollar bin.
Yeah, you can find it.
Or it's supposed to be a movie or something coming out.
I think Disney's gonna
Disney announced a new Rocketeer TV show, picking up with it's going to be a female lead this time.
A woke lead. Noctera.
It's a good comic.
Yeah.
Can't lie about that.
Luckily, I got that when it came out.
Wait a minute. That book is $180.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it was option before it came out, so I mean, everybody knew when it came out that it was already going to be
right. That was going to be something.
Yeah, so if you didn't buy any, then it's just
And that's the glow cover.
No, that's any of them. It's the first cover. It's the first issue. I mean,
No, I got it. I was just
all of them. All of them have
that's
that.
the A cover right there, number 3. Yeah.
Whoa, 13.
Marvel Special Edition. Shang-Chi.
I'm selling mine.
Is that because it got banned in China?
I mean, I would probably say because if it was sold as a 9.8, it's probably because that cover is just hard to find without any spine ticks.
It's always beat up.
Yeah, it's a beat up cover. Most times it's usually beat up. Now, what's shocking is that number one is what's number one. The worst series ever of Spider-Man.
I forgot the importance of that book because I have that book, but this was like after One More Day, and I was just buying those books because of Spider-Man, but I never read them because of how bad One More Day was. So I just kept collecting them.
Click on the Spider-Man. Nothing. No key. Nothing.
Right.
Just $50 off the rip.
I think it's going up because of the recent Spider-Man movie and the whole,
Yeah.
Spider-Man losing everything, and this is like a fresh start of Spider-Man. So
it's kind of like the One More Day storyline.
Yeah. But come on now, that ain't worth that much, man.
No.
All right, that is our top 10 for the week. And ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your butts. We've got a special guest in the building. All right. We've got Kwanza. Oh, I'm gonna get her up and say it.
Osajyefo.
What?
All right, go ahead. Y'all gonna get ate up. This is gonna be when the steps gonna be. Y'all gonna eat me up, man. Don't.
After all those
mess me up now, man. Golly. Osajyefo.
Kwanza is in the building.
You said it with the motherland accent. There you go.
Sometimes I know I can do a motherland accent, but I can't do it.
Kwanza, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing good, guys. I learned a lot in that opening, man. I'm fitting sell all my new comics, like the whole stack.
Every last one must go.
Gotta get rid of them.
Yeah, y'all should have saw his reaction.
And you can only get it if you buy all of them.
Yeah, right.
Man, his face is
Web 11s, all of it.
his faces was priceless, man. On some of those prices, man. The first two books, he was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah."
I was feeling a way about like prices on white recently on eBay. I'm like, I'm doing all right. These are fair.
So what are your thoughts though on stuff like that? Like what do you think about the secondary speculator market when it comes to like titles?
I think that I think it's kind of like what happened in the 90s with speculation and people still kind of like thinking that that's a thing that exists and kind of inflating certain things, artificially. But I do think that there's still some room for nostalgia. The thing is, like, all of this really came from, like, if you really loved the book when you was a kid and, like, you bought your collection and stuff like that, and, like, later on as an adult, somebody else who loved it but maybe missed an issue or something like that, but now they got bank, wanted to pay up for something that you had, like, that was the come up. But it wasn't like you bought it back then, to say, like, oh, let me go and get this. Like, I got the whole Milestone collection and stuff like that. So when DC finally drops those movies, like, would I sell it? Probably not, because I love those books. They mean something to me. That said, if Static #1 was going for like a book, I'm gonna flip that.
It's gotta come.
But I'm getting that because I invested the time as a collector and a fan back then. I didn't buy it back then because I was just like, oh, I'm gonna go sell it for $100,000 later on. I bought it because I love those books. So I think that's the cognitive break there with those two things, because it's like, why is this significant? Why is this important to somebody? Yeah.
All right, Kwanza, what kind of got you into got you into comics, man? I mean, and what was your what just kind of got you into it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I came in early, man. Like I think I was reading comics when I was in diapers, like Peanuts, Pogo, Garfield, just like all that. I just loved it. I would go over to my godmother's and she would have like Archie comics. I would just, if there was comics around, I would read them. And I think the first one that like really like dug into my brain most, like when I realized that like this wasn't just something that I was finding at like families' houses, but like this was a regular thing. Was a cousin of mine had the graphic novel of the Asgardian War. Art Adams, like the New Mutants, X-Men go to Asgard and stuff like that, and I was like, "Yo, this is tight." Like, that's when I kind of was just like, "I got to get on this." But I started. I think the first series I started collecting was Power Pack because I was about that age. Like I was like 8 or something like that. So that was me. You know, it was like it was little kids. I was a little kid, and that's what got me collecting. You know, like I would go to the store every month, and then I started reading New Mutants, and that got me into X-Men. You know, so that's what got me into like comics and collecting.
I just want you to say that name of that. What book was that got you into it again? It was, you say Power Pack? I think we heard that on the panel before.
Power Pack.
Okay.
Yeah. No shame, man. I love Power Pack.
The guy above you is look at the guy above you is a huge Power Pack fan.
Look at that poster back there on the wall. That's a Power Pack poster.
What? Yo, you got to zoom in on that now.
Hey, blow me up, man. Blow me
All right,
up.
hold on a second. Let me.
I can't show you too much because it might be nasty or whatever. But,
that's dope.
I'm just playing. But, yeah, I like Power Pack, man. They slept on. I think personally they're gonna be a huge hit for Disney whenever Disney decide to pimp them out. But you know,
well, I mean, they were part of the Fantastic Four in terms of like the licensing bundle and stuff like that. So now that they got all that Fox back, like I'm like, all right, Pixar, let's get on this.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I like Big Hero 6, but that was one of those like, for real though, we ain't gonna get no Power Pack. Big Hero 6, okay,
right?
Yeah.
So it's just, how did you get into the business?
I got into the business mainly because of Milestone. So when that hit, I think I was like in my I was in my teens and stuff like that, like high school or whatever. And I saw the Milestone comics. And that was the first time that I kind of realized that like Black people were absent from comics, you know, as characters, you know, because like everybody else, I grew up reading X-Men, Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, and stuff. All white dudes, all white women. And when I saw those books, that just blew me away. And it impacted me so much. Like I actually looked at the indicia, I found their like phone number, their address, and I like called them up. I was just like, "Hey, yo, I'm an artist. I'm the hot new artist. Y'all got to put me on. Like, check out my portfolio and stuff." I didn't have a portfolio, and
I'm laughing because as a photographer, that's what I did. So I'm laughing because of that. Yeah.
I mean, I had my little drawings and stuff like that and ideas, but they actually let me come in and interview, and I sat down with Dwayne McDuffie. And I come in there with like my little like, 16, 17-year-old ideas and stuff like that. And he was very gracious. He looked at them and, pushed my stuff back over to me. It was just like, well, he ain't quite ready yet, my friend. But, then he schooled me on comics. He essentially, like, from like the graciousness of his heart, gave me the green book for navigating comic books. He taught me, how to go to cons, hit up editors, get internships and stuff like that. And very key, keep me in on like, well, you are a person of color. And if you didn't notice, we are over here. We are not over at DC for very specific reasons. And that, like, I was just like, got it, sir. Understood. And like, so after I graduated from college, I got hired at Marvel, like right out of school. Like I did the internship program in the summer and I started working like right after that. And that's how I started my career.
Sweet. Al, did you have anything? Nice. Anybody on the panel had any questions they want to ask?
I do. With getting on at Marvel, immediately after your internship, because I read that in your interview, what were the real trials and tribulations that you came across as an aspiring artist trying to get known in the game?
Well, that's the thing. Like when I was working there, I wasn't trying to do that. Like I was, it was editorial. I was in charge of content. I was just like working with other artists and stuff like that. and just learning about the business, which I think was really vital and important, because it helped kind of like get rid of those like rose-colored glasses that I think a lot of people would have about working in comics, stuff like that, and like really see it as the business that it is, rather than being like everything's covered with like spider webs and tapes and everything flying around. Nah. It's like those are people's jobs and their livelihood. Things got to get done. They got to be done on time. They got to be done right. This artist is like late on this. This writer is early on this. Like this artist is like this anchor. Like all that nonsense and stuff were things that you had to learn about. It's like learning about paper quality, learning about ink bleeds, and this is like right on the cusp of digital and stuff. So it was really like learning the rules and the ropes before getting into like the actual art of making comics, so
Gotcha.
it was very much me learning and absorbing at that stage.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I got quite a few questions, so I'm gonna start off with this one. I too am, when I got started, I eventually segue into the New Mutants when you started talking about the Asgard, New Mutants going up there and Storm becoming a Valkyrie. That was like, yeah, this man know what he's talking about. Now, I do, and I showed you the books before we started the show, that I am a fan of your work, and I kind of noticed, and I want to ask you a question: did your love and fandom of the X-Men, did it help cultivate the series Black? Because I saw a little bit of correlation in there, but it was kind of like maybe inspiration. So what was your inspiration for creating the Black series?
So there's a number of things. The first thing, of course, was like working as a professional in the industry. One of the things that I kind of came upon was that between working at Marvel and DC, I was very often the only Black person, like at the company, on floor, in a room and stuff like that. And that really shocked me, especially because I was over a decade, 10 years, that the reason why I didn't see people like myself in those books is because there weren't people in the room guiding, the content. So those things were related. And for me, I was very much like, I'm not going to see people like myself in comics unless I find a way to make them myself. And it wasn't because there were people in the room like, we're just not going to put any Negroes in the comics. It wasn't like Machiavellian or anything like that. It was just very much not in their purview. Like the things that like occur to us all the time just from being Black just isn't in these people's like space. It's like it's not there every day. So for me, I felt like there was a lot of stories to tell. And at the time when I came up with Black was after the shooting of Amadou Diallo, and a lot of people are just like, when they heard about Black, they're like, "Oh, this is so timely." I was like, "Y'all been killing Black people for like ever." I don't know. This ain't new just because you saw it on Facebook. So those were some key inspirations, but definitely my love of comic books and my love of characters like the X-Men, but also like characters like like Batman and like Iron Man too, because the thing about those characters is like they often like position themselves as outsiders, but when you really looked at them, it's like you're a billionaire. What's outside? You can take that suit off. You don't gotta be Batman. Nobody made you dress up like that. When you look at like mutant characters, they're supposed to be this allegory for racism, but it's like, nobody's like pulling Wolverine over in his car because he's got a nice car. And if they did, that'd be a wrap. But I mean, like, it's very much for me looking at those kind of books and saying like these things are kind of a half measure story. They're not really reflecting the experience of Black people in America through one of my favorite mediums, superheroes, comic books, and stuff like that. So I was like, what if we just scrape away that veneer? We tell stories that like are in these genres with these similar tropes, but like we don't really need to like front on people and just be like, oh, it's because I can read minds. It's like, yeah, but you're a hot redhead white lady. Like what? You can go and just get a job, like a regular job. Like nobody's throwing your resume out, Jean Grey. So it's like there's a different set of hurdles, but there are also a different set of hurdles that we're familiar with. So when people heard the tagline, what if only Black people had superpowers? They immediately, it resonates with people. They get it because they have a context in like our reality to position that against. When you talk about mutants, you kind of have to explain it. And it's like, oh, these people have powers, but they're persecuted. And the first question if you didn't know anything about comic books and somebody said that, they'd be like, why? well, because he's Magneto and he can do stuff with like metal and stuff. Okay, cool. He should go into construction. Like what?
Yeah.
What's the problem? He could get the bag. He could get the bag. Magneto Construction, man. I'll do it all. One man crew. I'll set your buildings up. It's like so those are the things that kind of inspired it, because I really felt like there weren't enough stories that were kind of reflecting this different perspective and experience that Black people have.
How was the reception when you created that series and it came out? How was the reception of that series, from people who read it? You might have people who enjoyed it, who didn't enjoy it, and stuff like that. So how was the reaction to that series when it came out and it was done?
I think when we did the Kickstarter, it was 100% positive and stuff like that. And even by the time the book and a trade came out, I mean, just generally it's been positive. But when you put out something like that, I mean, you kind of know that you're going to run into people who are going to have problems, but those people are kind of tired. They have the same, same tired, lines that they throw at you and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's always been, really receptive. Even, recently, I went to my first convention in a long time. I went to Rose City Comic-Con. And, there's still people who haven't heard of Black. So when I give them the pitch and, tell them what the comic book's about, their eyes, wide, and they're like, what? Yo, give me a copy of that, And it's that kind of stuff is really cool, but for the people who are contrary to it, they're gonna be anyway, or people who say silly things like, oh, if they had powers, how did slavery happen? I was like, because bullets. It's just because somebody can fly don't make them bulletproof.
Right.
And also, we're talking about 16th, 17th century flying Negro. Yeah, somebody gonna shoot him. And what?
Right.
The hero movie with a starting fire.
Yeah. They like you said, they come with the same tired lines and arguments and stuff, and I'm like, let's sit your sorry ass down, man, because you're not gonna stop this, man. You're not gonna stop this.
Right.
What I found intriguing about it is that I really enjoy your storytelling. And that was the reason why I decided to just stick with it after I finished Black. The only other one that I don't have, aside from what we talked about before, was America's Sweethearts. I don't have that one. But I did read up enough on it to know that it falls in line with the rest of the mythos that you created. Now, if it's not known to our audience, Black has been optioned. Warner Brothers optioned it for a motion picture, right?
Film,
okay.
Feature film, yeah.
So how do you
option
feel
whole
about
universe?
Oh wow, really? So if
Yeah.
you can divulge, maybe what you talk. I mean, if you can't understand, but do you know the extent of what they want to do with the actual IP or motion picture?
Well, I know they want to make
animated series?
so it's a feature film based on the first book so far, and it's been a really cool experience. It's being involved in Hollywood stuff and seeing people's different interpretations of it and things. My stance on it has always been that I respect different mediums, and one of the things I said to them from out the gate was go make a film. Don't try and make my comic book into a film. That's probably going to be terrible. We've all seen the original Watchmen film. It was by the letter, but that film it didn't work. And it's Alan Moore warned you. He was like, yeah, that's not how this. It's two different things. I got away with a lot of stuff because these are comics. And I'm a very big fan of Kubrick's The Shining. That to me is how you take a book and translate it into a film and still maintain the core ethos of what that story was about. Yeah, and it's he distilled down that story in The Shining into something very simple and clear, but it was 100% true to the novel, and in my opinion better. But it's one of those things where it's it's been very enlightening to see people look at Black through a different lens. And I've even said a couple of times, I was oh, that's really cool, I'm gonna steal that. I mean, you are basing this off of my book, so I think legally I can steal this and put it in a comic. So, but that's about all I can say.
Well, I would respect that because I was going to ask for some tickets to the premium, but
red carpet tickets.
No, you wasn't. You shoot your shot.
Yeah,
Hey, man. Well, hey, I'm shooting my shot right now. Tickets to the premiere, and I'll bring my books for you to sign a couple of them too, man. For real.
I'll sign it before. I don't know about the premiere yet.
I got a question about that. With Warner Brothers picking it up, and it's all coming kind of full circle with, especially with you spending time at DC. You know what I mean? I know you're gonna allow them to make the movie because it's Warner Brothers, but looking at a lot of previous comic movies that Warner Brothers have had their hands in, are you gonna be more hands on with it, or you're not able to speak to that?
I'm a producer on the film, so I'm able to chime in on things. Let's just say that. And and I, like I said, I really respect the craft and like their ability to do what they do and tell the best story. I really mostly what I've just said is like, hey, the premise of the film is what if only black people had superpowers? So I don't want to see no flying white folk. Like we ain't having any of that. Like this is gotta just keep it Black Panther. It's about us. So that's it. It's like
it's like only so many liberties you can take with this.
Characters, yeah, it's like you can change characters. I've seen versions that have been like very true and ones that have been very divergent, but like just keeping to that like premise and that core has been what I'm about, because once it gets into that sphere, it's like it's I don't want to say it's somebody else's story, but it definitely is somebody else's like vision and approach to it. And what I've seen currently has me like so hyped. Like some of the stuff in there is just, it's really cool. It's really cool. And it's not stuff that I came up with, which again is why I'm stealing that.
So speaking on you being a writer, who have been your influences growing up reading comics in reference to writing?
Definitely Christopher Priest. Like when I was at Marvel and that Black Panther Marvel Knights drop, that was the first time I saw like something transformative happen to a character that I already knew. Because you would see characters like as a comic reader like exchange hands between writers, but to truly see a redefinition of a character in a way that felt like real time, in a way that like had you hyped. Like I was hyped with every issue of Black Panther that dropped, because the swag on that book, on that character, was just so next level for me, and that the character was black and that he was a king. I mean, like this is before everybody got hyped with like like the Disney Marvel film and stuff like that, where it was just like, oh, y'all didn't even know about Everett K. Ross back then.
It's before everybody was woke.
Yeah, right. Going to the movies with dashikis on.
Yeah, right.
Fried chicken plate.
Hey,
don't do that, Ron.
I don't gatekeep and I don't shame people for not knowing about stuff, but I'm just saying like that's kind of where I came from and came into it. I definitely, like a lot of people, grew up reading like the Chris Claremont stuff. Doesn't quite hold up as much. We better read it now, but it's like, but I mean, like it's still good. I'm still like nostalgic for it and stuff. But
hey, this is the buddy I was like Kojak. This is what about the real light skinned folk?
I saw that, and I'll say this.
The key.
read the book, read the comic, because I explain how things work in there, and there's characters in there who have powers. So like Zero, he's albino. Indigo, she's half white, half black. So if that answers your question, just go with that. But you're not going to find out why black people have superpowers until the third part of the book. So there's black, there's white, and in the third part of the trilogy, we bring it all to a head. It's like Star Wars, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and then we're going to have the Return of the Jedi.
Nice.
So how many issues is the White series going to run?
It's 6 issues. So it's going to be 6 for black, it's 6 for white, it's going to be 6 for the third.
I think I was going to ask this.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. What was your reaction to when White came out because it was only so many copies that came out, and a lot of stores didn't know about it. Matter of fact, it was a book that it kind of hit out, it surprised us out of nowhere. We were like, "What? This dropped? What?" Because we like Al said, we all bought the original Black when it came out because it was on the radar, and we were like, "Hey, we're gonna pick it up." And when White dropped, we couldn't find it anywhere. We were scuffling, looking around, going from store to store, and couldn't find it. So what was the deal with it being, kind of like, slowly leaked out there, man?
So when we were ready to release White, after we did the Kickstarter for it, I said to my publisher, I was like, "Hey man, like I only want to print like 2,500 of the first issue, like of all the issues." He's like, "All the issues?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "That's weird. Why do you want to do that?" And I was like, when I grew up reading and collecting comics and stuff like that, you would always see like, "Oh, this is a collector's item," especially in the 90s. There was like a million of them shits. So it's like, it was like what I said earlier about like that difference between like when you collected something because you loved it. Like my Power Pack collection is not worth anything except to me. And that's fine. Like maybe the movie will come out or the TV show will come out and then everybody will be on and they still ain't getting my Power Packs.
Damn right, they ain't getting mine either.
They ain't getting my Power Packs. And maybe if I got like an extra issue, I'll let you have like issue like 53 when it wasn't really all that good anymore. But
53.
But for me, it was about like, man, remember when you would go to the store like, but maybe your mom had you in like after school or something like that practice and you missed something and then you had to go on the hunt. You had to start going to the other stores in other neighborhoods where you ain't know, like you was like, I don't know nobody around here and stuff like that. And you hunt the bins, like filling your collection. And it's like, that to me was what it used to be about. So I wanted to actually make a collector's item. Like, it's like, let's put this out there. It'll only be 2,500. And like, it's something that like people can actually, if they get their hands on it, they'll treasure it and stuff. Now, that was me being a little bit naive. I'm not going to lie. I was doing that from pure nerdery. Like, it was just me being a geek and loving comic books. And apparently the retailer was like, what is wrong? Like, so they ordered like 40,000. I was like, we don't have that many. Why are you ordering that much? And then there was only like 2 per shop. And, it immediately became a thing where we had to do a second print. And I was fine with that, because it still like hit that idea of like, look, if you got your hands on this first issue and stuff like that, it should mean something to you. It should, have some feeling. And it wasn't about trying to create any sort of speculator thing. It was like trying to create real value for people who are fans and people who collect and people who read. So whether you're a collector or you're like a diehard fan, and you get your hands on this, it should have value for you, So that's really where it came from and stuff.
It's refreshing to hear that, man. That's something we talk about all the time. Is just having value.
Sorry about that.
Legit
value. Because
right.
So many times, and anybody who watches the show knows that we highlight this a lot, man. It's like books come out, and you kind of said it just then. The books come out. There's thousands of these books, and all of a sudden, they jacked up to the roof, and you can't even buy books that you want to get the week they come out.
Yeah.
And I mean, even when White came out, it was genuinely we were like, "Hey, man, I want to get the rest of this series," and we just couldn't find them. And then like you said, those second prints started coming out, and so we started snagging them up. But just being able to see, because a lot of people don't understand back in the 90s, man, like you said, that those books, everything. If you go look at, and it's funny you said that because if you go look at your collection from the 90s, every book collector's item, everything collector's item. Foil covers, holograms, 3D, go in the dark. Just
Polybag.
Polybag. Everything was polybag with a
trading card included.
Yeah, the trading card and everything.
Yeah, everything. And so when you get a book and it's only a handful of them, and it's a good book, and it's a book that continues on the saga, it really does create that value for the book. Al, do you want to add something there, bro?
Well, what how you explained that, I respect that a lot because I'm that type of collector. I do own books that are slab, but 95% of the collection that I have, they're just raw books. And when I found out that had I known about the Kickstarter, I would have contributed because, like I said, I really dig your work. But what had happened was I got so excited about it. I'm like, man, golly, new series, man. Because every series that I bought of Black, what I did, I went back and read the original, and then when Devil's Die came out, I read the original, and then Devil's Die, and then Orphans, and please forgive me, I can't remember the rest of the
Widows
title,
and
but
Orphans.
you know what I'm talking about. Widows and Orphans. I went back and read it from Black to Black, whichever one came out, because I can't even remember the chronological order, but you get what I'm saying. So my thing was, I was looking for American Sweethearts, and I said, well, I'm gonna get White, and I'm just gonna read it, and then I couldn't get White, so I'm on eBay, and your idea as far as what you wanted to do would probably have been perfect maybe 15 to 20 years ago, but because we're in the market, the climate that we're in now, with everything being spec. Oh, this man cooked collard greens in this issue, man. This is a $50 book, That's the way it is now, though. That's the way it is.
But that's what you said. That's why you did it, though, right?
So what? No, he did it because he wanted it to be a situation where when you got that book, you would treasure it. One, the situation where, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kwanza, but it wasn't a situation where he wanted to put the book out there for somebody to put on eBay and sell it for $300.
Yeah, he wasn't making it.
He wanted people to have, when they got the book, it was like, man, I got one of 2,500 of White, bro.
But you said you wanted it to have some value later on, though, right? You said for the person who was able to.
I wanted it to have value for the person.
For the person,
exactly what you said. It's like, oh, I got my hand on this.
Exactly.
Because to me, it's like, that's a collector's item. Like back when, remember when Todd McFarlane Spider-Man 1 came out? My mama had a copy of that. She's like, you got this? I'm like, you don't even collect comics.
Right.
And this is why it makes like us as collectors the thrill of the hunt more exciting. Like when you do find that copy and you don't see it at an outrageous price, and you like, I found it, good price, and I walk home with it, and I'm like, I'm excited.
You wasn't finding that White #1. No way. No. That book, you had to have sold your soul early.
Yeah.
I saw someone post it I saw someone take a picture of it in a store the day that it dropped. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh, what have I done? And it was $150. Damn.
Yeah, man. Well, I believe some of the shops just kept it back and they just didn't sell it. They were just like, oh, no, we putting this out.
Ours did. Ours did not sell it. Our local did not sell it.
Yeah. Which was also a weird and interesting thing, because it made me understand like something weird about retailers too, because it's like, when we dropped it, they were kind of mad, but they all ordered it like crazy. So it's like, I told you there's only 2,500, so why y'all tripping? Just order 2. Order 1. 40,000. I was like, you ordering something I don't even have. So then my publisher was like, all right, let's do a second print. And now we're on White. Like somebody held it up. That's the 3rd printing. And I'm like, cool. Like that's like, enjoy it. I want people to read it and stuff like that. But, the idea that like the shops were like upset and they wanted like more copies, or like some shops ordered their own variants and stuff like that. Like I didn't understand anything about that stuff. I was, like I said, it just came from a place of being a collector, like, and being a geek and wanting to do something that I thought was just going to be fun, because I thought like, it's like, oh, we'll do it. Ain't nobody gonna, like, whoever's a fan of it's going to get it and they're going to be hyped, It's like, but then all of a sudden everybody and their mama want it. People who didn't even read Black.
Right.
Right.
Like when I was at Rose City, I saw people coming by and it's like, oh yeah, I've seen the comic before. I was like, you don't know anything about my book at all, do you? $200 for you.
and see, that's the thing that because back when the original series came out, it was just an indie title. You know what I'm saying? So I think what intrigued me was the cover. Like, hold up, man. Okay, I'm gonna pick it up. I picked it up and took it home, read it. Like, okay, I'm gonna keep on getting it, But I could appreciate that frame of mind that you had in that situation, and I'm honestly glad that the book is doing well for you. Any other plans on aside? I know you mentioned there's going to be a 3rd part of the trilogy, the Black trilogy. Yeah. Anything that you could talk on that might go past the next series, or are you pretty much at that point to where you're going to focus on that and then move on whenever.
So I definitely would like to do some more follow up to America's Sweetheart, and then maybe a couple of more stories in between. Because I very much wanted to structure it like again like Star Wars, where it's like here's the beginning, middle, and end of the story, and then there's we'll focus on some other character stories in between. But I did write a kind of very important story in the Free Comic Book Day issue that was dropped.
Cal
That
exit.
is very relevant. Yeah, it's very relevant to how the story is going to play out and potentially some future stuff. So for people who don't normally pick up Free Comic Book Day or usually think it's just going to be a reprint, like I wrote an original story for that. I was like, nah, we're going to do something new in here. Like, let's go. So
Kwanza,
I dropped a little hint in there.
You know what you just did? You just alerted.
Respect.
Respect. So next week on You Must Be Out Your Damn Mind, we gonna see Cal Exit go up for 15 grand. CG.
Yep.
I got
If
one
you was
better
at
for
River City,
you.
I was giving them away for free.
This
There
one.
you go.
We'll see it on Comic Con in
Yeah,
about 2 weeks.
I wouldn't have been able to see that on any of my shops. They
Kwanza, let me ask you this, man. So, and this was one of the things that we talked about in the back chat before we started, and we were gonna save it, but let's talk about that. Was it the third issue? Is it the third issue with the controversial?
cover.
Oh
cover?
yeah, the variant cover.
Yeah,
of
the variant
Black
cover.
number
So let's
3.
tell us a little bit about that, man, and how that went down, and the reception that you got when that came out.
So, when we started, the original plan for Black wasn't to do it as periodicals. It was just going to be an original graphic novel. But, when Black Mass got involved with us, they were like, well, do you release it as periodicals? And people were already ready to start reading it. So I was like, okay, let's put it out. But now we got to do 5 more covers. So with how much people responded to that first one, I turned around the car. I was like, yeah, we got to do 5 more, bro. So we just started collabing on how can we do different stuff that's going to speak to the themes in the book, but also kind of be just as impactful and carry on that ethos of expressing, this Black super scientific narrative. And with the third cover, we really wanted to dive into the idea of labels, and how words are used specifically, in regards to, African Americans. And, we were talking about stuff like, first it was slaves, that's what they called us. And then it became colored. And then, and now thug, that's that code word that you hear on Fox all the time. It's like, who you're talking about. It's like when people say urban. I'm like, man, most of us don't even live in urban cities, stupid. What are you talking about?
1866.
So we were working on that cover, and I decided, I was like, it's we got to put nigger in there. So I brought the publisher, and he schooled me yet again, because I remain very ignorant of the retail market. And he was like, that's not gonna fly. I was like, but I'm gonna do it.
Put the envelope.
So we got to figure it out. And so we had some back and forth, and I was like, okay, well, look, how can we get this cover out there? Because I don't want to mess with the original intent of the art. There's a point to this. And so it was the first time that we decided to put out 2 versions of it, and the one with that had nigger on it, we actually sold directly to retailers. They couldn't go through Diamond. So Diamond got the one with Negro on it. And what ended up happening is it actually doubled the sales of that issue, and it kind of had a reverse. You know how sometimes on series, the sales start going down after a month? That was the first time sales went up on a 3rd issue in a limited series because of that issue. And it was just one of those things where it's now people, whenever they see that cover, they always want the one that's uncensored. And I was like, of course you do, because it's the truth,
Right.
But that was really funny, because it was just that didn't even go through normal channels. You literally had to buy it directly from us to get that in your store.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool.
And people bought more of that one. So the stores bought more of that one directly from us.
Cool. So do you have a few minutes to hang around with us for a little bit?
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. Anybody else have any other questions before we slide on?
I do. How's it like working with Black Mass Comics?
It's good. I mean, I think we've been really lucky in terms of launching our book through Kickstarter just gave us the funding to pretty much stay true to the vision of the book and like what we wanted to do. And Black Mask has been really great in just like being a good partner and just letting us tell the story. It's not like, like when I tell stories like that cover, it's not like they were just like, we're just not going to do it and you're not going to publish it. It was more like, all right, let's figure out how we can workshop this. Let's figure out how we can actually get this done without, diminishing the work in the wrong way, and they've always been really good about that kind of stuff.
Cool.
I got one other question.
Yeah.
On the artwork and whatnot, and this just comes from like me. I draw. Well, I recently got back into drawing and painting and whatnot. How many sessions do you all go through until you feel that it is perfect? Because it's always, when you see it in your mind, it never hits the canvas or the paper the way that you want it to.
So me and Tim Smith, my co-creator, I come up with the stories and he designs all of the characters beforehand, so it kind of saves Jamal time of like, he's not sitting there and thinking like, oh, how am I going to draw this character? He's not inventing anything when he's drawing. We put together like a Bible for the issue. We put together like, this is what the characters look like. This is what the narrative is and stuff like that. So he essentially just has everything that he needs to draw the comic book beforehand. And there's like very little, make anything up. What Jamal's generally doing is directing, and the way that I write the scripts is I'm not like pedantic. Like I don't sit there and just write every single detail. It's like, now Dutch turns with a wiry grin and like, and it's an upshot angle. I don't do any of that nonsense. I'm like very A to B, and I let Jamal understand like what's at stake, what kind of dialogue there may be in the story, and I let him just kind of like get behind the camera and decide like what's the best shot, and like how to do things, because he's a pro, man. He's been doing it for 30 years. I don't gotta direct Jamal Eichel. It's just like, it's like, hey man, make it look dope. That's it, and it's really good to just be working, with a team that's just like so on it that they can just like run with the ball and they get kind of what I'm saying, It's like, hey, here's some of the guidelines, but other than that, like, you know what we're doing here. We're making people upset. Let's go.
Let me ask you this too. What books are you reading right now?
I read a lot of manga. That's really my jam and stuff like that. I do like I finally got into One Piece. I know everybody was on One Piece beforehand, but I was like still on it. But I love binging like comics, so it's been kind of a joy to try to be working to catch up to everybody. But that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like I'm on JoJo Lion, so I love that everybody's like sitting here being like, oh, we just got like gold experience. I'm like, oh, y'all like 3 JoJo's high. we on a whole nother JoJo. That's about to end, And I still believe JoJo Lion's black, but that's just me. Anyway, so a lot of manga, but in terms of like comic books, I'm really liking Hickman's new X-Men, like the House of X, Powers of X, and stuff like that. That was definitely a flex. Like I'm feeling it. I was like, all right, mutants, now you mean something. I get it. Like this is where you should have been. I've really been enjoying a lot of indie stuff, like Something's Killing the Children. Like that's kind of where I land. I read a lot of like the DC and Marvel stuff, but I kind of read it like it's like the weather, more like I'm not. If I get into stuff, it's only during certain periods. Like I was really into it when like Dan Slott was doing that Spider-Man where we had like the Red Goblin and all that stuff, and he was coming off with like Skinny Dr. Octopus. Like Skinny Dr. Octopus was a bop. Like I like that. That was tight. I was like, all right, Dr. Octopus ain't no punk no more. Let's go. This is and then Red Goblin, I was just like, you can't even put him back in the Green Goblin suit after that. You can't make like Carnage Goblin and then just have Norman Osborn go back to being like, that's just no. Like I don't like to see characters go backwards. It was like, and Peter should stop sleeping on people's sofa. That's just dumb now. It's like my man done been like CEO of his own company and stuff, and like people trying to make him a bum. This is silliness. The man made web fluid. He should be selling that like on Instagram.
All right.
It's like, do you have problems sticking 2 things together? Try this. I mean, come on.
Like Flex Seal, yeah. I got one more question, and then I'm gonna leave it alone for you. So you just said you like manga, so I presume that you watch anime too.
Of course.
What's your favorite anime right now?
I just got finished watching this wild one. Why can't I remember the name of it though? Because there's like this trend with anime where there's a lot of like RPG stuff and like going into other worlds. But the premise of the story is this dude was like a real loser in life, and then he dies, and then he
That
gets
time I got
reborn.
reincarnated as a slime.
Yo, I watched that until 4 a.m. in the morning. I was like,
Boy,
what?
that is a good one, man. I binged that one.
Like, and it was like so. It was like such a dumb like. Like when I read, I was like, this sounds stupid. But then I watched it, I was like, so like that Tokyo Revengers I've been watching. I just wrapped up the JoJo Gold Experience like chapter and stuff like that. I know they're about to do the Jolene chapters, but like yeah, that's what I'm really into. Of course, like stuff like Naruto, but I feel like that's not even. I mean, Boruto's kind of boring, but I still watch it.
Yeah, I do too. I still go back and watch Naruto back when the Katsuki showed up. So it's like that's when it was fire to be, man.
Okay. So now I feel like I can ask a question.
Hey, go ahead.
Best fight in Naruto.
Oh my god, it was so many of them. Naruto.
I know that's why I said best
Naruto
one.
Honestly, if you want my honest opinion, and I'm going to be biased, it was when Jiraiya fought the Pains and died.
That was heavy. That was a good one.
Because that actually held so much weight because of the backstory that they told with Jiraiya being, their sensei. To hey, it is whatever. He's just mad he don't watch anime. It's all good. But when Jiraiya was actually teaching the Pain and Conan, and I can't remember the other one's name, and just the whole ramifications behind that when they fought, I think to me that's my favorite one. How about you?
I would say it's probably Rock Lee and Nada. That original fight, because we was all sleeping. I was like, who's this dude? And then he came up. But I really have to say that like my favorite fight is final fight between Sasuke and Naruto. Because by the time they got to the point where they used up all their chakra, they was just beating each other to death. And I was just like, and the animation on it, I was just like, yo, y'all was like actually trying to kill each other. Like you felt like y'all are trying to kill. Well, Sasuke was trying to kill him, but like it was blow for blow. And for a series that like was all like super giant, like Megazord like power to like all of a sudden bring it down to just them just beating on each other, like that was kind of tight. I was like, you took us on a journey and then delivered on it right in the like finale, and I thought that was like pretty powerful.
Yeah, cool.
Right.
How are you on Hero, My Hero Academia?
So here's the thing: like I was reading that from like Jump, like the minute that series came out, and I'm still enjoying it. I don't really watch the anime because I prefer to read the manga and stuff like that. But
they're so far
it's the
ahead.
kind of series where it's the kind of series where it's like they definitely are doing superheroes better than American comics. I think in terms of how like they just kind of how the characters use their abilities, like the action sequences and stuff like that. But the one thing I feel like they kind of did is they kind of backseated a lot of the other characters in the class for Deku at a certain point, and I was just sort of like, I know he's the main and stuff like that, but it just kind of felt like, dang, y'all at least like Meiji had his moment in the sun, so did like Shikamaru. Y'all just left everybody just got dusted. Like that's kind of cold, comic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They sleep on.
So I'm just kind of waiting for them to bring them back. Yeah. It's like I'm waiting for them to bring the rest of the characters back because it's like you have such a dope cast. Like let's give them some time.
Kwanza, what is the one piece of advice that you would give to someone who is black that's looking to get into this industry? What would maybe a high schooler that's watching or what have you? What kind of advice would you give them?
Times have changed, so there is no getting into the industry. It's just you making comics and telling stories and putting them out there. From my experience of having worked like Marvel, DC back in like the early 2000s until like mid to like 20 12 or whatever, there used to be people who you had to go through in order to tell your story. But the web and online and digital has been like breaking that down to the extent that it's like really more about like you just like throwing your stuff up there, whether you put it on a Kickstarter, whether you go through like webtoon submissions and stuff like that, or whether you just put it on like Tumblr and stuff. Like there is so many web comics that I used to read back in the day coming up and stuff where people were just putting out banger work, and those were a lot of people who were really like hitting those big campaigns on Kickstarter when they would go to print their stuff, because they were just telling the stories that they were telling, and they weren't worrying about like, oh, I need to go and get a publisher and stuff like that. Like now you can print up your own stuff. Like there's a lot of logistical stuff that's like, you gotta like learn about and whatnot. But in terms of just getting your story out there, just put it out there, and if you do want to like work for one of the big publishers, I'm not saying that, don't work for them. Like there's a lot of people who want to write Batman, they want to write Spider-Man. It's like, still write your stuff because they're going to want to look at that and see that you can actually produce. They don't just operate on the fact that like, oh, I'm a great storyteller. They need to see that you can do month after month after month, because they're literally operating a production schedule where it's like, I need you to write this many pages in this amount of time or draw this in this amount of time. So you have to be able to show that you can do that work. No different than if you were working on, animation and stuff. Sit down at the table, draw your panels, do the work.
Yeah.
So as like when you're putting together like the whole process of doing a comic, because I kind of correlated to like I come from a music background. You're almost like the executive producer, but you're like, how do you select the artists and all the people to put it together? Do you go into it already knowing who you're going to use? Have you guys discussed it beforehand? And then you go and kind of get the bag and bring it back and say, okay, this is how we're going to do it. Like, how does that process go?
And I like that you actually created that, because after being an editor for so many years, I realized I was like, nah, you're a producer. This isn't an editor job. Editor job would be like telling people how to spell. Like that's an editor job. Let's say, your traditional comic editor, they're like looking at art. They're looking at like pencils, inks, letters, the whole thing from nuts to soup, and getting everybody paid, and getting it off the printer and stuff. So it is a lot like that. And in terms of like putting together a team, you have to like try to line all of that stuff up before you like hit the ground running. So it's like, I know
they have they have tough schedules too, because they might be stretched kind of thin, and you're like, well, I got to get in there to get my stuff off too. You know what I mean? So is that hard? Is that a hard process?
It can be. I mean, like with Black, it's a team of people who I've known professionally and personally in the industry, and who believe in the project and doing the work, and that goes a long way. But in terms of like, putting out the monthly comics to like a bigger publisher, it's like, yeah, man, you're working on Spider-Man, you gotta get those pages in like daily. It's not even like monthly. You're seeing the end product and thinking like, you might have a misconception of like, oh, like they just did that a note. No, that's like 8 weeks of work probably, to get to that point. So you really have to, be ready to like understand your production, your timeline, be ready if something happens, because like God forbid, like, artist like injures his hand. You got to have somebody like backed up, or they get a different job where it's just like, hey man, like I really like working on the project, but I just got Batman, and you can't be mad at somebody. It's like, you got Batman. It's like, oh, take me with you. It's like, So you just gotta be prepared and ready to hit it and stuff like that.
All right, sweet. All right, so we're gonna go into our next segment, and then we're gonna go into our halls. Tonight's gonna be a short night, but we're gonna go ahead and get ready to fire it up. And here we go. All right. Kwanza alluded to it earlier, and debuted Wednesday. Kwanza, since you brought it up earlier, we'll let you talk about your thoughts on this past week's What If.
I need 2 more episodes. That's what I need. You can't be sitting there and dropping like, what if Killmonger saved Tony Stark, and then like went and attacked Wakanda and just like played everybody like a master chess player. You can't just give me a taste of that, you know.
And killed
the end of the episode, you know. It's like, but like it's Killmonger. He just showed like who he is, and I'm like, no, I need 2 more episodes. I need this trilogy. Like I need to see how this ends.
Right.
Yep.
What do you think about the What If series in general? How have you enjoyed it? You know, do you think they've done a really?
I think it's been interesting in particular because it coming out after Loki, you know, Marvel's been very good at telling their like, you know, long story, and I think that What If is actually is the result of what happened at the end of Loki. They're not saying it, but I think it's the result of that, and that's going to have implications in the larger Marvel tapestry. Because when you look at like what that show is, it's like, wait, you gave us WandaVision, you gave us like Falcon and Winter Soldier, and you just bust out What If, like this animated joint. No, this is connected to all this.
Yeah. Like they're shaking up everything, right?
Yeah. It's like y'all are prepping because they're telling, you know, like that show Loki ended talking about the multiverse and it's splintering off, and now we're watching a show about all these fractured parts of the multiverse. So it's like this has got to have implications at some point. I don't know what it is, but I'm ready to watch it.
Yeah.
Sean, your thoughts on What If this week?
Oh, I loved it. It showed how Killmonger from the start wrecked the whole universe by taking out Iron Man and establishing himself as the now king of Wakanda right at the end. I was like, damn, this is a What If, like Kwanza said, I need to see more of this, especially at the end when we see Pepper and Shuri together, knowing that what he did and planning out. I need to see a continuation because this is interesting. You know, you pretty much said, yeah,
he was like Bishop from Juice.
Yes. Yes. And he ain't jumping off the roof yet.
Right? That's what I'm saying. So we kind of know where it's going, but I mean, even if nothing else, like they set up the premise that something like that could happen, you know, in the whole Black Panther. Even if they don't make him evil, it still shows you that it's likable. You know what I mean? Like you can pull it off. Like there's a story behind it. You can make a story if you wanted to. You know what I mean? Like with a little fleshing out, it could be something. You know, if you wanted to go that route.
This episode really showed how dangerous and scary Killmonger is. You know, how he can plan things out.
He's smart. He's a genius too. He's a genius.
And the fact that he was this orphan dude, like Rhodey, Iron Man, Black Panther. I'm like, damn, man. Like, we grew up on these guys. Now you
that episode and being like,
he was Tony Stark level.
And being like, I was like, dang, bro, you could have done that in the Black Panther movie, but this is your
game. Thank you. Yeah.
But
it was almost like what he was doing behind the scenes because he was still working with Claw. So it was like that was like the story that they didn't show you. They showed you the end product, but in the movie, but they didn't show you the backstory of how they were working together.
Claw was the only one to got twice by Killmonger.
Right. They kept it true.
I think what was
like
also interesting about it is that it established him as such a powerful villain or anti-hero. Let's call him anti-hero. That like even when you got to the end, I felt more worried for Shuri and Pepper. I was like, oh, y'all about to like y'all might not make this. Like I'm glad y'all know what's up, but
you don't need reason
on it.
Right. This ain't what you're expecting.
Yeah, this ain't what you want.
Yeah. Right.
It's like if you ever heard the phrase "Don't come for the king."
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Al, your thoughts on What If this past week?
Well, you know, I like all of them. This one was no exception. You know, I collect the comic books, so yeah, I'm looking for more of that story. But I honestly think that they're going to expand on all the stories that they've told thus far. It may be spread out over time. You know what I'm saying? Like we might see the continuation of the Killmonger episode in season 2 or What If. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for what we know, from what we've been told, Everything that we've seen in that show is canon because it's part of the multiverse. So I mean, I see us seeing some more. Killmonger was very methodical, and it showed us a different side of him that you didn't see in the movie. Of course, you couldn't see it because the movie's only but so long. But I think just seeing that episode, I think Marvel's we probably end up seeing him in the Black Panther sequel again. He ain't dead. He ain't dead. But yeah, I enjoyed the episode.
I feel the same.
I think he'll be back.
I also feel like they need to stop teasing us because they're making us want Killmonger to be Black Panther. I ain't gonna lie.
I always wanted him to be Black Panther.
That's my theory. That's actually my actual theory for the next movie.
That's what I want. I want that. That's what I want.
So many folk look at me crazy when I say he's not dead.
Yeah.
Like if T'Challa can survive being impaled and thrown off a cliff without having the powers of the Black Panther, how is it that Killmonger is dead from a spear while he's still Black Panther?
With the suit on that was impenetrable.
Yeah, I think Killmonger's at the White Wolf spot. That's where he at.
Yeah. Getting healed.
The Lazarus pit.
Right.
Chris, your thoughts?
I like the episode. I want them to be done with Chadwick because it keeps messing with me. Because when it started, it was like, oh, he's gonna be Star-Lord, and it was his last time portraying the role, and then he done showed up 2 more times.
I think he got one more appearance.
Yeah.
It's like, man. It's like, I need this to be the last time.
No more, man. It's like hearing a voicemail from somebody dead over and over again.
Yeah.
No more, man. I'm done.
All right, so Al, you'll like this little piece of news. This bud was given to me today by Larry. Daredevil and Kingpin are both on the way. From my understanding, Daredevil is supposed to appear in the next Spider-Man movie, and Kingpin is supposed to appear in Hawkeye. And they actually are going to go with the Kingpin from the Netflix series. So that is a huge win.
Well, it's been rumored that Charlie Cox was actually in the new Spider-Man movie because at some point he's supposed to be representing Peter like Ken Nugent style. So
Matt Murdock.
Yeah. So I mean that could be. I can see that now. The whole I can never get that dude's name. Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
There's an F in there, man.
D'Onofrio.
The guy from Law and Order, but
the Roach from Men in Black,
right?
Yeah, Edgar, Sugar, Water, but yeah, man, that dude, man. If they didn't bring him back as Kingpin, man, I would riot because he did such a great job. But yeah, it'd be good to see him back, and that's good to actually have some continuity. Truth be told, man, we need to see a Luke Cage cameo or something, because I think that still needs to be addressed. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of people in that Spider-Man movie, though, man. So I mean, ain't no telling who we're gonna see, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, if they put that many people in there, I mean, they're gonna have an all-star cast of people going forward. They're gonna be able to make some movies if all the rumors are true.
The only thing that they'll do in that movie that'll kill people is if we see Miles. Then I think we'll all have a collective heart attack.
I think,
oh man,
that's in the rumor mill too, because they actually, and this is all the speculation stuff. Mr. Negative is actually rumored to be in the movie too, because they actually in one channel I was watching on YouTube, where they were talking about the company that Mr. Negative started called Feast.
The Feast.
The Feast is in the movie. And of course, Mr. Negative is the director of Feast. So, I mean, that movie it's gonna have a lot of camp, man. I'm telling you, a whole bunch of comic books gonna go up when that movie drop, man. I'm telling you.
All they need to do is add Pace Pop Pete and it'll be a set, man.
Hey,
There you
man, we all need to go ahead and buy that book now, then, because
Base Pot Pete, Death Head,
Pete,
Slapstick.
Slapstick.
Food Killer.
Hey, I mean, if Suicide Squad can make Polka Dot Man dope,
Yo,
we can
Yo.
get Pace Pop Pete.
Right.
Hey, Kwanza, what did you think about? What did you? I know we're talking about Kingpin, and we'll come to that. But what did you think about Suicide Squad?
I thought it was like the most dope flex. It's like, how you gonna flex on the studio that helped you make your movie like that by saying like, no, we the Justice League, we fighting Star. Like, this is what they did. Like, it wasn't even low key. I was like, oh, y'all are just like, no, we're the DC universe. I don't know who these people are. It's like it was fun, and it had that great element like in Deadpool 2, we killed all the X-Force. Like, I was howling. Like, that was the funniest scene in like superhero films in a long time. Like, I was in the theater, I let out an audible yelp because it was just the funniest thing I've ever seen. And that movie was all about that. Just like, hey, you know what the title of it is. Everybody ain't gonna make it through here. And they delivered those deaths in the funniest way possible. But that movie, I'll watch a Suicide Squad 2 or 3. We'll put whatever like particle you want in front of it. A Suicide Squad.
Right.
By Suicide Squad.
I mean, that's what James Gunn does, though. He takes the lesser known characters and brings them full circle. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
that's because most people don't care.
Right.
Nobody was out there being like, I need a Peacemaker film.
Yeah, right.
I was hoping going through the whole movie that I wouldn't see John Cena, but he kept showing up, and I'm like, why am I seeing this fool, man?
John Cena was hilarious in that movie, man.
He surprised me at the end.
Yeah.
He's got some longevity in there.
I mean, he's getting his own show.
Yeah.
What?
He didn't kill him off, so that's good.
Kwanza, what's your thoughts about Daredevil and Kingpin on the way?
I hope that they bring Chris Cox back because, man, you can't take an actor who really delivered on like who Daredevil was as a character, because Daredevil's all about like Catholic guilt, like that trying to be a good man but being like plagued by demons, but also just being like that scrapper. Because I mean, like that hallway scene. The hallway scene, man. It's like,
I watched it at least once a week.
Yeah, you can't leave that on the floor. You got to bring this man back into the regular MCU. You just have to.
Let me add on to that. What do you think about some of these shows? Barring Iron Fist, we don't
count that here. We
don't count the vacuum salesman.
That's not canon.
Only ones I want to see is the Daughters of the Dragon. That's it. Take them and bring them back. But leave curly hair fuck out.
So
I just want Mystic Knight.
That whole story. Erase that one.
So what you think about if we can get some, like Al said, Luke Cage, man? Because I saw a friend of mine yesterday, and he had just saw Luke Cage for the first time, and he was like, "Man, why you didn't tell me about Luke Cage?" I was like, "Bro, you black shit. I thought you knew about Luke Cage."
Especially on Netflix, that would be the first thing you started watching.
Yeah.
Like,
oh man,
yeah, I was like, bro, I saw that was like saying you would be coming to America. Shit. So, what's your thoughts, man, on Netflix? Some of these Netflix shows getting, need to be, coming back in with the MCU rather.
Certain ones I know that it's just like, hey, we don't need any of that. So like Cloak and Dagger, nah. Like, Inhumans, that wasn't it. And that's okay. But it's like when you have something that like really like hit, like Daredevil. Like, come on, that whole Bullseye thing, like that was wild.
Right.
It was a long show.
Right.
And you spun a Punisher show out of it that was actually good, because the Punisher's trash, honestly. But like that show made him into a character that could be in the modern era and still be who he is.
So I heard that, boy.
Look
at Sean, but look at that thing.
Not trash now. That's harsh, but now.
Yo, look, like
I mean, he's just like
Like
he's a mass murderer. He's a school,
Yeah, but he's also like a catharsis for people with some problems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I felt like the TV show actually dove into like who he could be as a person and why he's doing what he's doing in a way that like the comic books have always kind of made cheap.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, he just got all the guns and he's out for revenge. It's like, but you killed the dudes who killed your family like a long time ago. You balling out now. Like, what is this? So I think that. I think the series like really humanized him in a way and made him into a character that people could really like sort of get in line with in the same way that Killmonger is. It's like you know why he's doing what he's doing and you can kind of respect it, as opposed to back in the 90s where we was all reading a bunch of Wall Journal, which was just him talking about his guns. That was weird. That was a weird flex. I got those issues. I ain't gonna lie. But it's like as an adult now when I'm looking, like, this is weird.
Some of the story, there was some bad stories.
Don't get me started on the storyline where he became black.
He became black when he became dead in the underworld when he got the
Frankenstein.
Maybe stop.
Frankencastle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
I always tell people,
like, he is Cosmic Ghost Rider too, so I mean.
Yeah. But I like the idea of like him becoming somebody who could just be like a one-man A-team and stuff like that, where he's just like, something bad happened to me, and I always seem to end up in a situation where I got to beat somebody's ass, shoot somebody in the face.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Bill Bixby's The Incredible Hulk, except he just shoots dudes.
Yeah.
Hey, can I say something about Charlie Cox?
Go ahead, brother.
I think a lot of people are getting a little too amped up about that rumor because people are thinking that he's going to be Daredevil in this movie.
Yeah.
He's going to be Matt Murdock, and it's not going to be a full-fledged like reoccurrence of him in the movie. Right. It's pretty much going to be a couple cameo scenes in the trial, but we can still get a little hype knowing that he is now in the MCU, so we will get Daredevil in the future. Now
it's Marvel. Don't sleep on them. They don't waste anything.
Right.
Disney doesn't leave anything
Feige,
on the floor.
I trust.
Yeah.
Now with Kingpin though, hey, I'm all for that. That dude is spot on.
He's everywhere. He can be everywhere.
Man, when he beat that dude's head in with that door. Man,
with the SUV door, yeah.
Bro, when he did that, I said, bro, this dude need to be Daredevil for life.
Man, when he broke Bullseye back.
And that damn Hulk, that damn stairwell scene, boy, that stairwell and that damn Punisher jail scene.
When Kingpin was fighting, when he got stabbed when he was working out and destroyed that dude, oh man. Like I knew it wasn't real weights, but hey, I was like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
This man got how many plates he had on there? 5 on each side?
Mm-hmm.
And he just threw it off like it was nothing after he got stabbed? Come on, bro. That's some menacing shit right there. I would have walked out the gym or the yard.
And I'm done for the day.
Yeah, y'all got that.
Yeah, it is.
Chris, your thoughts on Kingpin, Daredevil?
I'm with Xavier. With everybody's all hyped because just like, oh man, he's gonna be in the movie, and it's like, as Matt Murdock, it's not gonna be. We're not gonna see Daredevil and Spider-Man swinging through New York during this movie at any time. That's not gonna be, what's gonna happen. But like X said, with both of them, coming back, that potentially leads to, getting them into a full-fledged Daredevil movie because we can't have Ben Affleck again.
Shit, no.
Hey man, hey, chill out, man. He redeemed himself as Batman. Come on.
Whatever, man.
No, he did not.
No,
yes,
he
did.
Yes,
he did too.
No,
His gloves are off.
Absolutely not. Some CGI redeemed Batman. Like some CGI that they stole from like the Dark Knight games. Like, get out of here.
That Arkham Knight. Let's not give Nolan credit on this Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight, you're right. Sorry about that, but it's like, come on. Like, no. It's like the best thing in that movie was Jason Momoa.
Hey man, it could have been worse, man. It could have been George Clooney.
Woo.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
it could have been Val Kilmer, the bat nipple.
Val Kilmer was better than
Sure.
George Clooney.
Yeah, I say
Yeah.
that.
That's true. The George Clooney one, I don't even. Those movies didn't happen.
That man is still apologizing about that movie to this
Yep.
day.
As he
Like,
should.
bro, there was a scene where y'all was just like playing hockey with a diamond. I'm like, okay,
No,
Right. Like
It's
just
where did the blades come from in the boots?
bat gear,
Did
man. Just
Were they surgically they came out of their feet?
Yeah, they got him from down there at the Army Surplus store down there on 3rd Avenue. Yeah,
I mean, he
the Inspector
Batman. I
Gadget
mean,
store.
Where did
Go
he get
ice
the bat
skates.
part from?
never leave home without it.
Man, and you the Dark Knight driving around in the neon Batmobile.
the driver in the
Yeah, that was
Riddler
also
Batmobile.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to them just eating that old Batman. Like I don't need none of that. Like let's get this new kid in. Let's get
Right.
this Sparkle Vampire kid. Let's go.
You know what, Kwanza? Since we got you, I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. We recently had 2 shows. I'm going, Larry. I hope you watch it because I'm gonna ask you. So we had a show. Was it our last show, Al? I think it was our last show.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Marvel books are overpriced?
I'm gonna be honest. I think all comics are overpriced.
Look at Sean. Look at that,
Like,
Sean. Yeah, he's like
Sean's like, yep.
And that's something that I
Overpriced
say
or
with
overvalued?
overvalued. Excuse me, overvalued.
Overvalued.
I think overvalued in the aftermarket, but I think overpriced out the gate because it's just sort of like when you look at what comics are competing with in terms of like media, it's like, bruh, like I could download a whole game for like 99 cents or free or
Right.
$1.99, and it's like I love comic books, and you kind of there's a point where it's just like, really, am I gonna pay $4.99 for this story? Like, it's like for that
$6.99
kind of
$7.99.
Right.
for that kind of money, you better be delivering me something like powerful or like impactful. Which is like with me, I feel like our comics are priced right, but it's also because I'm not asking you to commit to something like ad nauseum. I'm like, this is gonna be 6 issues. You know how this goes. Like you're reading a story, it has a beginning and an end and stuff like that, and then we out. So I'm not asking you to just show up, 2 years from now to read some filling story where my character decides to make waffles, and you're
With the
supposed to read that.
renumbering system.
Yeah, like I
man.
don't think
That's
that's fair. I think like if you're really gonna ask people to pay those prices, then you need to like deliver like stories that mean something. Deliver stories that aren't just about a production timeline and are really about like moving the character forward and doing something that makes people be like, oh, I can't believe that, instead of hey, I've been reading like 6 issues and like there's kind of this storyline going on here. Like, oh no, here's the big event. It's like, why don't you just do the big event? I didn't need all that hot air in the middle, and I already paid like $30 at this point. So that's why I feel like they're overpriced in that regard.
And as Sean would say, the paper is shit too.
Oh,
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna ask those prices, then you need to like really like say like if I would say like y'all just like do 6 or 5 issues, take a break, and then come back with the next arc that's about something, rather than like have people like feel like they're invested in a story and then all of a sudden, oh, that was the last issue, and 2 months later we started again with number 1. I'm like,
Right.
like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
it's the
Because I
worst.
think if you were being straight up with people and just saying like, okay, this is a 27 issue story, now it's done and complete, go away for some time, come back, here's the next series, and it's still the same character, it's a number 1, but we're just starting at a new part of the story. I think people would get that, and then it would feel like you're paying for something that like you kind of see the arc and the end of the road, for it.
What also one of the other questions we had is, do you think DC books are undervalued? Yeah, drink water on that one.
I'm waiting for DC to sort of find their pace, because I think things have been kind of messy over there for a little bit, and there's not a lot of cohesion there, and there's things that are like relying on fan base in terms of like stuff like Batman and all that keep people on. But in terms of feeling like a universe again, it's just been kind of like very like I picked those books up and I'm like, what's going on? Like are these like it just feels a little disjointed right now. So I don't think that they're undervalued. Like I think like the rest of comics, they might be kind of overvalued because it's like you need to get to a place where it like feels like there's a connection here again, you know? Because right now it just feels like it's everywhere.
Ain't nobody studying.
There you go.
I mean, look,
Whatever,
I'm
Beach.
trying not to throw any shade and stuff like that to be like objective, like as a reader, and just say like that's kind of like how I'm interpreting like the books when I pick them up. It's like, all right,
We don't want you to burn your political.
Yeah.
No, I was like, I try to be fair. Like when I was younger, I would shit on something in a heartbeat. But like, you know, I know that there's people who are writing these stories and they're doing their best. But it's just like it's like when you're operating at that pace and stuff, there's sometimes where you just don't have time to breathe, and it's like you get stuff like Future State, which is like confusing. I'm just like, Batman ain't black. Stop lying. Like that's how I feel about that story. You know, it's like Jake Fox. I don't give a fuck about no Jake Fox. Like we know he ain't Batman. Like just stop. Like unless Bruce Wayne is dead, super dead, extra dead,
out the picture completely.
That story was trash.
Like his ghost visits Jake Fox dead. Like then I'll believe that he's
Ghostbusters
Batman.
shit there.
Yeah, otherwise the story has no value to me. You know,
Not
only
was the story trash, but DC made us pay $6.99 for that.
$6 a piece. No, $5.99 for the A cover, $6.99 for the variant.
Yep.
I'm gonna be straight. They didn't make you pay anything because I didn't pay for that.
True.
I saw it. I went like, nah. I'm gonna go read this because it's just like sometimes you got to talk with your wallet, and I'm not sitting there again like trying to throw shade, but it's just like that story has no value to me. Like I don't want to read that. That Wonder Woman, the new Brazilian one, I was like, oh, that looks like a bop. I'll pick that up. You know, but like it's like Black Batman is like, stop pandering to me with that, man. It's like unless he got the keys to the house, like Wayne Manor, and his last name is Wayne because he got like secretly adopted or stole his money. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't believe it. I don't believe
this is something I always had a problem with, is the pandering to try and change the character's race just to pander to us. And my biggest issue with that is I've read a character for so damn long, and now you want to change his ethnicity just because of diversity and all that stuff. Like, no, like you can create a character of color and develop that character and build him up to the point where he has respectability. But when you change the ethnicity, like for instance, Wally West in the New 52, people wanted Wally West, and I grew up off the Wally West in the 90s. He was the Flash for me.
The real Flash.
Me too.
Yeah, and then when they brought him back and he was biracial, I'm like, the fuck? This ain't Wally West. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
It's just being better than the CW Wally West.
Being lazy.
I'm like, no, and that I dislike that heavily because it's almost as if to say they want to be diverse, but turn these characters into a biracial character or a black character or a Latino character instead of creating them and having their own identity.
They're catering.
And
any one of those.
I agree with that in part, and I think it's more about execution because we can all sit there and agree that Miles Morales is executed pretty well, and we all accept him. We all like that character a lot. I think with like characters like this is exactly what I'm saying. Like Miles exists in his own identity, even though he's picked up Peter Parker's mantle and all that stuff like that. He is Spider-Man, and we accept that. But when you look at Jake Fox, you're like, nigga, you ain't Batman.
Right.
You ain't Batman. Like there's nothing about this story or about whatever's happening here that makes it so you're Batman. And
the only connection is his dad.
And with the new Kid Flash, that was just like there's too many Flashes in the first place, so you can't even say you're the fastest man alive. I don't even know what that means anymore. And I'm a Flash fan, but I'm just like, this is nonsense. But when they brought in
Right.
that character, I like that character personally, just because I felt like, I like I was more about like the visual design. I was like, all right, I'll accept him as Kid Flash, but kill Barry and bring back Wally as Flash. It's like, and we can have two Wallies. I don't care, but like commit to it. And I think that's a big problem that those like companies have, is that they won't commit to like the story that they're trying to tell. And that's why
Right.
you'll have like 5 Green Lanterns and stuff like that. It's like, yo, just pick one, man.
Yeah.
And don't let it be Hal. Hey, just pick one.
Right.
And make sure it's John Stewart. Like,
Right.
just pick one. And stop trying to please everybody, and just tell a story that you want to tell. Because I
Right.
think people could respect the idea that, like, oh, well, if you're gonna make Batman black, then do it. Don't half-ass it. Don't tell me he's Batman in the future that I ain't in. Like, just let him
Right.
be. But instead,
Just for
you
Bruce
wanna
Wayne to
try
come up in
like,
the same issue.
Earth 453.
right. Or same thing with Aquaman. It's like nobody liked the original Aquaman. So yeah, you can make Aquaman black. Nobody was reading them comics.
Yeah.
No.
Nobody reading.
It's like, so that's okay, but it's like there's always this like, oh well, people want the blonde hair Aquaman. It's like, no, nobody does. They want Jason Momoa Aquaman, if you can figure that out. But it's like just commit to the story and be truthful with it, and then it's less pandering, I think.
Awesome. All right, cool. Al, you want to have anything you want to throw in there? That's it. Good. All right, awesome. It is now time for our All right, it is now time for our comic hauls. And Remo, I am coming down the pipe with you, my friend. You coming right out of the gate tonight.
Right on. So I got a mail call. I've been collecting these, because I love this story. But it's Daredevil number 11. It's like the third appearance of Echo. I can't afford her cameo in her first appearance, so I'm happy to get these. So every
What's
time
the
I
first
get
appearance?
9.
9.
Daredevil 9. That book is out of here. So and then 10 is even higher. So I'll take 11. I like the cover too. It's a David Mack cover, so you know what I mean. I like it. So anytime I see it, I get it. If I can get it for cheap or cover price, I'm definitely picking it up. This was kind of a random pickup. I seen it and I was like, let me grab it. Been seeing it online. So this is Captain America Sam Wilson number 12, the variant cover with Shuri.
That's nice.
So grab that before they start snatching them up. I just snatch up any Shuri covers I see. This is the Me You, the Love in the Dark. My wife said she loves the story, so I thought I'd grab the second print. Grab that. And then I got the Maw number 1. This is like the 1 in 10, I think, or 1 in 15. I'm not sure. It's one of the two. I grabbed that because it was a pretty sick cover. I don't know if you can kind of see that. It's like somebody almost coming out of some water or something out of the dark, but it's a pretty ill cover. And then this is the A cover. I think it's a story. I think the girl gets assaulted or something, and then she has some type of powers when she comes out of it or whatever. This is the one I was waiting for. I got to really jump back into some DC since I don't really read too much DC, but I got the Black Manta number 1.
Yeah.
This is a really good read, actually. It was almost like came off like like when you watch an action movie and then you get the mission prior to the credits. You know what I mean? That's what it came off to me, but it was pretty good. It's pretty dope. And this is the cover I really wanted, was the Sanford Green, the B cover, which I feel like should have been incentive the way it looked. But when I saw him drawing it on his Instagram, I was like, I got to get this book. So I got a couple of copies of that.
Atlantis Forever.
Yeah, and then
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
had to pre-order these a couple months back. Shout out to Lady Fantastic for the heads up. Made sure I got a couple copies of those. Got a couple for my wife. Then I got the this is Boosh #1, A cover, and the B cover or the variant.
Hey, who is that?
This is the bounty hunter that Princess Leia stole the outfit from when she went to go to Jabba.
Rescue Han.
Yeah.
Dang, they doing comic books on everybody, ain't it?
Well, that's the thing. No one ever knew the story, and he was a pretty reputable bounty hunter, and nobody knew the backstory because you only knew who it was from Leia having the uniform, or the outfit to get access. So this is the first appearance and story about him. So as part of the War of the Bounty Hunters, not the first story, but like the first time you ever see him and kind of hear about him. So, and then like I said, my LCS retired, so they switched over and they put 50% off of everything. So I got a couple trade paperbacks. I got Oblivion Song, Chapter 1. And then I got Bitter Root, Chapter 1. So grab those. So that's my haul, and thanks for watching, everybody.
All right.
Here come the heat.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a little bit of a different haul this week that I normally would have. I've got
This how y'all know he got the heat. Look at his dimple.
Oh,
Ring Magazine, George Foreman.
I said it looked like a Newport ad.
Told you that's some sharp 100s.
Virginia Slims.
We have another ring with Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, and George Foreman. This is right before the Thriller in Manila.
His mama called him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
Not Thriller in Manila. The fight over in Africa. I can't think of the name of it now.
The Rumble in the Jungle.
Rumble in the Jungle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've got NWO LeBron James.
he'll never be too sweet, bro.
Taking them efforts.
We have Beckett Football, Tom Brady.
Whole day you picking up Tom Brady books.
Yep.
Don't that ain't it.
Oh! And then I went to a card show today, and I got Michael Jordan. We got a little Kobe action.
Nice.
And then we got the Tom Brady rookie card.
Damn.
Oh Lord.
151 of 181. And this has officially been my sit my ass down pickup for the year. I'm officially broke. I'm broke for real. So that's it. That's my haul. I'll see y'all in 2022.
When I see it, man. These next 3 months. All right.
Sean, you was out today, man. What you pick up today, brother?
Okay, so I went to Epic Comics. They celebrate their 10th anniversary. Of course, today was Batman Day, so I didn't bag these up yet, but I got some of the free comic books that they was giving out.
Isn't Batman the World just Batman Incorporated all over again?
Pretty much. They had the Batman movies on and everything at the shop. I got a couple. They had dollar issues.
They played the Adam West one.
Nah. They was playing
The dollar like the bomb.
they playing the Christopher Nolan ones. Got Badger. And I probably picked up the best worst story ever, but my curiosity got me, and it was only $1. So it's part 2 of Man Wolf Cat America. Part 3.
Shit.
Good night.
Holy smoke.
4. Cat Wolf.
You know, I got that pop on the way.
Really?
Cat Wolf.
Yeah.
Part 5.
Yeah, I didn't even know they were making a Cat Wolf pop.
It was a con exclusive.
And 6. So yeah, the best worst story of the 90s, man.
Look at Cable. Look at Cable. You know he's on a weight plan.
Yeah.
So Captain
that's
America
that
turned
old-
into a
werewolf.
Werewolf.
Yep.
Yeah, this
Man,
is
they
a
need
whole
to stop
story.
they shit.
Yep.
Stop they shit.
Stop it, but that's the 90s for you, man.
Hashtag stop that shit.
Some Avengers, Roger
Got that
Stern.
book. That's a dope cover. I like that.
Of course, you know I love some Star Trek, and I saw this. I had to grab it. Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Ooh, I like that.
Worf, Michael Dorn.
Yep.
Oh, they got Cisco on there too. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I forgot he was on Deep Space Nine.
He was the captain.
No, I'm talking about Worf. Worf was on there.
Yeah, Wolf came in season 4 or 5?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Some Thor 265.
The hammer boy right across the head, boy. You see that?
Molly
Wow.
King size annual Avengers 11 Battles of the Defenders.
I know, and then on the
And
back.
then Avengers annual number 15. Pretty much everybody on the cover throwing down. And then I got a couple of random Cable issues. I'm not even gonna show them all, but these are all Cables from the 90s. My 90s fix. And I picked up a statue, Red Sonja.
Nice.
20% off.
It's only fitting.
Only fitting. So that's what I got from Epic Comics. From the con, of course, my boy Jeff hooked me up with a Vampirella book that he ordered.
All right.
Was that a full statue or just like a bust?
No, it's a small statue. This is how it look on the side.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's not a huge statue, but
Right.
it's
Nice.
pretty good. I got issue 3 of Chess. This is by Alfred Page of Second Sight Publishing. I always try and support this brother whenever I see him at the cons. He's local here in Florida. So I picked that up. And then it just came out. Some Warren Vampirella
Oh yeah.
bondage right there.
Yeah.
Like
this is-
Elvira.
Issue 54. And of course, you know me, I got to get my Barbarian on with some Savage Sword of Conan.
Oh boy, in trouble, man. That little bitty ass knife.
Yep. Dang. These are $8.
Nice.
Find Gorilla Grodd, ain't it?
Yep. Gorilla Rod's mind can't stop the Barbarian.
Gorilla Rod.
Gorgox the Terrible. That's what that is.
Here's another one. This is when he went up north to fight Wendigo, man.
That's
Wendigo
my
Like
didn't
boy.
want
M'Baku.
Wendigo.
Man.
And lastly, I'm gonna show. I got 2 more pieces, but this was the mail, and I know Remo knows, and I hope you guys got the second print. California Blends.
Yeah, I ordered a couple copies myself. The second print. I got the second print.
I read it and I really liked it, and her artwork is gorgeous inside it. Like for her to do panel work and stuff, it was really great. The art was illuminating. I really enjoyed it. And this is a 4-issue series. So,
Nice.
So she'll be doing issue 2 soon. And then I picked up this canvas by a friend of mine, Sergio Art, and his father was running at Daytona Con while he was at Epic Comics. So they both were there selling the artwork. And I got this at the con. Isaiah Bradley as Captain.
Nice.
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 Excellent.
That is sweet right there.
Yeah.
And that is all I got today.
All right. Al, we're coming to you, brother. Oh,
All I have to show is Dolomite. That's it.
Dolomite issue 1, variant B.
That's all I got to show.
That's it.
That's all I got to show.
Oh, okay.
Man,
I thought you being facetious, my fault.
Go.
Bro,
Hey, I can put it back on the screen again.
put it back on that again. I'll put it back on that again. Put it back on that again.
Yes, my name is Dolomite, and I like the comic hall and round table discussion. You know, business born insecure motherfuckers.
We need a Dolomite soundbite now.
Yeah, we do.
Woo. Was out there. Let's see. Picked up when I stopped at the book nook. Picked up the 66 bat boat.
Hey,
Add
bend
to
it
my
down
collection.
a little bit. Hey, it didn't come with the shark.
No, it didn't come with the shark.
No,
They should have put the
there would have
shark
been a
in it, too.
helicopter for the shark.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That buoy with that had the bomb on it. That's what they should have put in there. That's right.
I ordered
Yeah,
them.
I like
I
that.
pre-ordered this one earlier this year. Finally came in. The Gigawatt,
Oh,
the Back to the Future Transformers crossover
Nice.
figure.
the
I missed on that.
Transformers will return after these.
I missed the first time. I had to wait. I ordered it like back in May. Like, it was forever ago.
We now return to the Transformers.
All right. Was able to pick up White. Number 1.
God, you ain't show that while he was on the show.
I
He showed it to him. He
before
showed me in the back chat.
Yeah, in the back chat.
Okay.
I had to go. They didn't have them at Origins. I had to drive out to Tucker to get it. Finally picked up Infinite Frontier number 6, the Dark Side variant connecting cover. I ordered it because they didn't have it at Origins, and then when I ordered it, I still got the regular cover, so I had to drive out to another comic shop to.
Hey, hold that back up. Hold that back up. Dark Side look like his name should be Craig.
It looked like Billy D cosplaying as
Craig Williams.
as Dark Side.
Not Billy D, man.
Yeah.
Craig. Craig
Got my
Williams.
Iron Man variant. Got that in. Let's see, then picked up, of course, picked up 7 Secrets because it is still just a really great story.
Hey, did Dark Side have a soul patch?
His name should be Craig Williams Jr. Craig Lee Williams Jr.
I picked up the Titans United because I do like the Titans Academy comic books. So I want to see how well they do just doing just the regular Titans. And it's great because they're using the ones from the HBO Max show because we got Hawk and Dove with everybody in there too. So I think that's actually gonna be pretty dope. Picked up Justice League Last Ride variant cover with Jon Stewart and Wonder Woman on it.
Jon Stewart like he about 18 on that cover.
Yeah, they did. I did recognize it at first because they did make him look a little young, and it kind of was. I don't know.
They got out of trigonometry class or something.
Batman '89 number 2.
Oh, Billy D. Billy D.
I still got your copy of number 1 too, brother. By the way.
Okay. Yeah, the Billy D.
You know what they should have put in a comic book bubble right there? They should have said it works every time.
And even though I'm not even reading the story, I couldn't pass up this Adam Hughes cover. A Black Widow 11.
Yeah, I wanted that one too, man. It was sold out everywhere. Then my wife
got it. I'm sure Larry got it. Larry got about 3 copies of that.
And that's it. I gotta do a haul video for my Book Nook haul. I ain't even gonna attempt to.
Yeah, I'm trying to break that shit up, man. That'll carry.
Couple whole videos.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
All right now. Well, I cut mine. I cut mine in half. I got Titans United number 1. Got the A cover. Also got the variant because it's Nightwing. I had to grab it. Have Joker.
Let's go get
7.
That's a plane I won't want to get on.
And, right. And 2 of the variants that I didn't mean to grab that one. Hold on. The variant right here. I'm sorry. And as you all already see, Black Manta got the A cover. And I also got the Wakandan variant as well. Went ahead and picked up. They're trying to slide them. Nice House on the Lake #4.
Yeah, I gotta read that.
Man, that
And the
book,
variant
boy.
cover.
The end of that book right there. That book is.
You read number 4? You read number 4, Al?
Man, yeah, I read that book twice. that story is so good, man.
Also got Batman 112, and went ahead and had to get the Scarecrow
I
variant.
wanted that one, man. I wanted it. I like that cover, man.
If I see it when I go up there, I grab one.
It's dripping from his the needles, right? Whatever the stuff in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also got Batman 89 #2. Got this cover right here as well. And went ahead and picked up, I forgot what number this one is. Rorschach #12.
Rorschach.
With the variant cover. So y'all know Rorschach is my dude. So I'm loving this series, by the way, too. It's pretty good. Went ahead and picked up Pennyworth #2. And Suicide Squad Get Joker issue 2. Got those. And I got 2 pops I'm gonna show. One of them, I can't remember if I showed it last time, if I had it, but did I show the Blade?
No.
Yeah. So went ahead and got the Blade. Con exclusive.
New Blade or old Blade?
It looked like Wesley.
Okay.
And I just got this pre-order in the mail the other day, and went ahead and got the common Super Shredder.
Nice.
So that's it for my haul. Like I said, I cut mine in half because I showed y'all the stack earlier, and it was pretty thick.
Excellent.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm losing more interest in new comic books. I enjoy more of digging for old books, and like Xavier and Chris showed the Batman 89. I didn't even pick up Batman 89. It was sold out, and for some reason, I don't even really care. My enthusiasm for going to the shop to pick up new books is starting to wane even more, and I prefer just going to the shops to dig in for bins for old books and stuff. And I'm not as interested in the new books as I am going out at cons and hanging out with Steve and seeing all these nice, great books in the bins, even in dollar bins and stuff. So I've been contemplating whether or not I wanted to drop new comics overall, and just focus on back issues.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. That's what me and Matt was talking about. Like, not even buying any more books for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be
if anything, maybe getting some books graded.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it, man, it's like you got so much, all this volume. Kwanza talked about it, man. A lot of it's just fluff.
Yeah.
It's just something just to keep the, keep you going back in the store. And then, most of the stuff is overpriced, like he was talking about those DC books. Most, $6.99, $6.99, $7.99.
Marvel.
Yeah, I'm mad because that Black Manta, the cover I wanted was $1 more than the A cover. You know what I mean? It was like, I wanted to get them both just because I want to support, whenever Brothers is writing and doing the art. Also, I want to support those books, but dang, the publishers is killing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're making it like.
That's why I like Todd McFarlane.
That's like 4 books. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's why I like Todd McFarlane. He said he is always going to charge $2.99 for every book that he brings out in the regular Spawn run.
Yeah, that's the cheapest book out there, man. It's $2.99. And he ain't skimping on nothing.
Yep. So, all right. Well, with that, we are Want to say thanks for Kwanza for coming through. Thoroughly enjoyed the conversation tonight. Y'all, if y'all have not read White, make sure y'all go pick it up. If you have not read Black, make sure you go pick it up. There, you can still find Black and dollar bins if you look hard enough. You just got to be patient. But if you head or pick up the trade, I think there's a trade if I'm not mistaken of Black. I could be wrong, but I think there is a trade. Pick that up, support the brother, and had a great time tonight with him. And thank you all for hanging in there with us. Yes, I know the clock does not deceive you. We are under 4 hours tonight. And we are going to be off before 12 for a change. So with that, we want to say thanks. We got another special guest coming next week, but guess how you're going to find out? You're going to have to go over to our IG and check us out at the Comic Hall Crew. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend. Haul video from myself and Chris will be incoming soon this week. And so make sure you stay locked in for that as well. Any parting words before we leave, fellas? Anything anybody want to throw out there before we go? Hey,
thanks for the support. Thanks for hanging out with us. You know what I mean?
Yep. So thank y'all. We'll catch you all next Saturday. Peace.